Hey everyone, welcome to part two of the Well Tools of Satan, Television and Social Media. In this part, I want to be talking about the older generation, folks from ages 50 and older, and how they're under such hypnosis, more so than the younger adults and teenagers and children, because they're receiving more of this demonic stuff on the television. Now, it's not so much as the social media, because a lot of older people don't really use social media. It's mostly the television. A lot of the older people, they're into the game shows, the demonic game shows and stuff, such as Wheel of Fortune, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, if the price is right, such other things. Now, these game shows, it's all the same thing. Television makes billions of dollars each year, and what they do is that they get a couple of people, they hire them, mostly famous people, and they put them on these shows, and they say, okay, here's some money, play these games, have these people watch it. Because a lot of the older people, they're into the game shows and stuff like that. They're also into soap operas. A lot of the older generation are into soap operas. Now, getting back into the game shows, which have these older people under hypnosis, is that, the Illuminati provides the television networks with lots of money. And what they do is that they get these players to come up in hopes to win the money, which is another material thing, from Satan, because it's all worldly. I believe that all our blessings come from Yahweh and stuff, and I don't believe that, going onto a game show and in hopes to win, thousands to millions to $1 million of dollars, that's just nonsense, basically. But at the same time, television has a lot of views because a lot of people watch it. The ratings are very high. So, of course, the Illuminati is going to be supporting these television shows and stuff, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which is a very demonic show. They play that on my TV where I work at, and a lot of the workers just sit back and just watch it. I just find that it's nonsense, and I really don't care much for it. So, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to be going to a couple of scriptures in regards to hypnosis. And I'm going to be speaking on that because the Bible talks about hypnosis. And I'm also going to be talking about materialism, because that's another thing. A lot of people watch television ads for materialism. There's a lot of commercials that are being played which are in regards to materialism, which is it consists of clothing lines, shoes, cell phones, laptops, all kinds of things that, the Illuminati pushes and stuff, which is just releasing stuff onto you people. And it's just to keep you guys from the truth, and to keep you guys buying stuff and buying into the deceit and buying into the materialism. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about hypnosis right now. And we're going to turn to Romans chapter 6, verses 16. Let me just find that. I have my Bible right here. 1 second. I always bookmark my stuff, so I always keep track of it. So Romans chapter 6, verses 12. Let me see. Okay. Here it is right here. You should obey in this last. Oh wait, no, that's not it. Okay, here it is. Sorry, people. Okay, so Romans chapter 6, verses 16 through Romans chapter 6, verse 16. Okay. It says here that, do you know that to whom you present yourselves slaves to obey, you are the ones slaves whom you obey, whether of sin leading to death or of obedience leading to righteousness. I'm going to read that again. Do you not know that to whom you present yourselves slaves to obey, you are the ones slaves to whom you obey, whether of sin leading to death or obedience leading to righteousness? So basically what that's saying, people, is that we're under hypnosis. We're slaves to these programmings, and that's basically what it is. Because you have a lot of people who watch certain shows, and they're just like so into it. It's like, and what the Illuminati does with these shows is that they blow them up on social media, such as Facebook. I'm going to name one show in particular, which I like very much, but I'm not obsessing over it. That's the new show Empire that just came out this year. A lot of people are just falling in love with that show, and the actors and actresses inside that show are just being blown up. A lot of the actors are going to malls and they're signing autographs for the albums that are being put out. So Empire is being a show that's really being blown up right now. So that's one example I want to give. You have these shows such as, Maury and Jerry Springer, a lot of stuff that the African Americans watch, which is really silly. I was someone who used to watch that stuff and found it entertaining until I started realizing how it's just a way of showing how ignorant black people are, how ignorant, black men are. They're having all these babies and stuff. And basically the whole baby daddy sort of thing just shows the world that it just portrays how black men really are and stuff. And it's just really sad that, a lot of black people watch that. Not just saying it's all black people too, but it's a majority of them, and it's also the Edomites and Hispanics as well. Jerry Springer is one of the worst television shows. I'm surprised that it even lasted after all these years. But at the same time, the Illuminati is going to be showing lots of trash. They're going to hire these people off the streets. A lot of that stuff on Jerry Springer is scripted. So trust me, people, most of the stuff on that is just not real at all. And it shows fights, it shows cursing and stuff, and it's just basically what's keeping people dumbfounded, and they find it very entertaining. And the Illuminati is using that as a tool to keep people sleeping. It's to keep people away from truth and stuff. Now I'm going to go into another scripture in regards to hypnosis. Let's go to Romans chapter 12. Verses 2. Let's find that really quick. Okay, so Romans chapter 12, verses 2, it says, "And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove that is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." Gonna read that again. "And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." So that's another thing, people, that we need to, pay attention to. A lot of people are conformed to the world. We must get out of that stuff. We must get out of everything that's on the television, because it's not teaching us anything. It's just teaching us worldly things to accept worldly things, and it's just releasing negative stuff into our children. It's keeping the older generation dumbfounded, to keep them in church, to keep them watching The View and these talk shows. They aren't talking anything about Yahweh. They're not talking about anything about Yeshua or the Illuminati or what's going on in this demonic world, or about the latter days, basically. So it's basically keeping a lot of people slow, and a lot of the older people, it's worse for them because they don't have any truth. They're steady running to church, they're steady running to Christianity, and it's not getting them anywhere. It's gonna basically, like I said, when it's time when it's time for the martial art to kick in, a lot of people aren't gonna know what hit them and stuff. And like I said, television is you just need to get out of it. Just need to stop watching it. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with watching television, but if you're literally just sitting and watching in front of the television like many hours during the week, and you're not doing such other things like let's say reading. A lot of people don't even read anymore. That's the sad thing. A lot of people don't read. If you ask a lot of these teenagers and children if they read, they'll tell you no, because they're too busy playing video games, they're too busy watching television, watching movies. And like I said, a lot of, the teens and children, they're getting overweight. They took athleticism out of the school, so, physical fitness isn't even an important thing anymore and stuff. So a lot of children, they're just eating a lot of the junk food that they see on television. So when they watch the Cartoon Network, and the Cartoon Network shows them ads and stuff in the commercial, all those demonic ads, they'll go to their parents and say, Mommy, I want this, can we get that from the grocery store? And and then of course the parents are just just as stupid, so they're gonna feed into what their children are asking them for, and basically they don't know that what they're watching is just being very it's all demonizing and stuff. That's basically what it is. Now I'm gonna give some shows that I've been watching. For example, I stopped watching Love and Hip Hop because that's a very demonic show. I saw that there was a Baphomet tattoo on one of the guy's head. As I was watching VH1, I noticed that there's a lot of blasphemy on there, such as Hit the Floor. There was a scene where there was a funeral at the church, and then one of the cheerleaders hooked up with one of the guys having sex in the podium. I mean, not the podium. I forgot what it's called, where they do the prayer at the Catholic churches, and one side is for, the priest, and one side is for giving the confession. They were showing that people were having sex in there. They got the television show, that Dating Naked show. It's just showing people who are going on dates naked and stuff. Also, I was watching X-Men, from the 90s, and it was showing one episode about Apocalypse, and I noticed that they were talking about Revelations in the Four Horsemen, and I noticed that as well, which that really caught my eye. I was watching Bates Motel, and in one scene it was showing this big mansion, the Pandora's box, where a lot of these celebrities go to, and they do their rituals, and they have illicit sex and bestiality and stuff like that. In Bates Motel, I was watching that. That Norma was discovering the little cabin where people were dressed up in dark clothing, and I think they were wearing masks as well, and they were just having illicit sex, older men with these young girls, and that was what I was looking at as well. Also, in these cartoons, there's a lot of Illuminati propaganda going in there. It's a lot of demonic stuff that's showing rituals, but they make it to where it's desensitizing people, and it's to the point where it's keeping people from knowing what's really being put out in front of their eyes. That's one thing. And also, television just pushes a lot of materialism stuff, which I'll be getting into part 3. Discussing materialism. Basically, it's just showing that like video games, I know a lot of teenagers, especially the boys, they love those consoles such as PlayStation 3 and games and stuff like that. Now, I'm the type of person, I'm not going to waste my money on no damn $400 Xbox One or or a PlayStation 4 or $60 on a brand new game. That's not what I want to waste my money on and stuff. So it's basically a lot of these commercials, they're making a lot of money off these people, especially with these smartphones and stuff. When the new iPhone comes out, or when the new Samsung comes out, because Illuminati knows that these phones and stuff is going to keep people, locked away. It's going to keep them sleeping. It's going to keep them hypnotized and focused on their phones and stuff. And like I said, people, a lot of these programmings are very demonic, and which is why I would advise you to cut that TV off, because it's just full of demons. It's full of Satan. It's going to keep you guys. It's going to keep desensitizing you guys. Just put it that way. It's going to keep desensitizing you guys to conform to the worldly things and to materialism that's being put off from the TV and into our minds. It's basically to keep us as drones. It's basically to keep us as slaves to the television. And the Illuminati is doing a perfectly good job at doing that. So in part 3, I'll be going into materialism, because the television pushes that stuff.